What is going on YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast. And hello. We're sorry that we didn't post last week. I'm sure there was only a few of you that probably cared, but we appreciate you nonetheless. But our boy here, Andrew, was pretty down bad with the sickness, disturbed style. Like he was sick. So
Yeah.
I just ended up getting a little bit crazy last week, and I was like, you know what? Let's just take the week off. There's no worry. Obviously, we saw that Ohio State lost the way that they did, so I didn't want to depress myself even more and talk more about that. So I was like, you know what? Let's just take the L overall. Repost next week, fresh, off a Browns win, and also off a lot of things to talk about in terms of not only the Browns, but the NFL in general. Because as we know, this is the time of the year where head coaches get fired, teams that haven't been to the playoffs in forever get into the playoffs, and there's a lot of storylines. And one of the storylines that we get to talk about is Kevin Stefanski let go as the Browns head coach after 5 seasons, in which over the last 2 seasons he had a combined 8 wins, finishing this year with 5-12. So not quite as bad as 3-4, and 14 was last season, but still not good enough according to Jimmy Haslam. So, Andrew, first of all, I'm glad that you're feeling better because I know you were definitely down for the count. He may still have a few coughs here and there, but doing a lot better. But obviously fresh off a Browns win, that was nice to really end the year on 2 wins in a row, actually, which is one of those things where I was like, I almost wonder if they used that as a factor of keeping him or not. And ultimately that didn't happen. So what's the thoughts now after not only the win, but also Kevin being let go and Barry staying as the GM this year?
Yeah, it's always nice to end the season on a high. 2 wins in a row. Couldn't ask for anything better. And if I'm Kevin Stefanski, that's the way I want to go out, is winning my last 2 games. And we all know he's going to get a job somewhere else in a moment's instant. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he went to New York right now and got offered a job immediately. So I just want to say hats off to Kevin for the last 6 years. I know there was so many ups and downs when it came to that. The ups, obviously 2 playoff appearances, 1 playoff win. We hadn't seen that since the 90s, basically the 80s. And it's just the last 2 years, winning only 8 games in 2 seasons, it's just not going to cut it, especially after an 11-win season. So after 6 years, and 13 quarterbacks later, it was definitely time to move on to greener pastures for Kevin Stefanski. And the Browns really need someone to come in and to absolutely transform this team. You heard some of the players already speak on Kevin Stefanski, but what they are also looking for, and I think they're looking for a guy who's going to keep them disciplined, and a guy who's going to, kind of be like that Greg Williams, not afraid to like scream at you and yell at you and tell you you're wrong or telling you you're doing things, because they need that kind of guy. They need some guy who's going to pound it into their heads, like, I swear to God, or like a Campbell type coach where they're going to be a little crazy, but in a good kind of way. So Kevin had a couple of good years. But like I said, it was ultimately time to go. And he'll find success elsewhere. We're the Browns. Our coaches and players usually go and find success elsewhere anyways. So I'm sure he's gonna happen, but now begins the coaching search. And this is where Andrew Barry, who got lucky enough to stay, is gonna have to really think about, with the ownership group, what they're going to do in this situation now. Because for me personally, I think Andrew Barry got saved, because this past draft that he had was the best draft he's ever had. I'm sure we're going to get to it more in a little bit, but I think this draft that he had this season was ultimately the thing that saved him. like there's no other way to explain it. Like Schlesinger, Sanders, Graham, all these guys, Judkins, Sampson, these guys saved
Yeah.
Andrew Berry's job by being elite. So it's almost weird in a sense, but I thought, to be honest, Barry should have been the one to go after the past and the whole Watson situation. I think that should have put him in dead in the water right then and there, was the whole Deshaun Watson ordeal.
Yeah.
Because any other
And it
GM,
didn't.
any other GM, that's fireable.
Yeah. And I honestly, I think it didn't, because I think they ended up putting that on Depot. They used him as the scapegoat for that. But the fact of the matter is, and I've kind of said this a little bit over the past few episodes now, is if I can see this playing out the way that it did, is whoever the Browns are going to end up hiring, I truly believe that they are going to try to convince said person that they will hire that, hey, Watson will have a chance to start again next season. He is still getting paid what he is paid. There's no getting out of that money. And although, I mean, I know for me and I know for you, as well, we both don't want to see him on the field, for us at least, again. He can go play wherever the hell he wants, but for us, we are both really not on board with it. But logically, I can see that being a factor, it being a reason why Stefanski got let go and Barry did not, because Barry is still set on this, and I think he was somehow able to really convince him to give it one more go. And if it doesn't work out then, or if they decide to just move on from him, then okay, maybe he has one more shot, but he has to have another good draft. He has to have another good draft, and he has to have another good free agency, which he didn't have a big one. But Malik Collins was a very good signing. I mean, up until the point that he got hurt, Malik was a significant piece to the to the defense, or really to the run defense. I don't think people actually fully realize how great he was against the run, and why our run defense got worse after he got hurt during the San Fran game. It's because of him. So that was a humongous signing for him. And it gave guys like Mike Hall a chance to come back slowly, get back to usual, and also take a little bit off of Graham as well, because obviously Mason, as a rookie, didn't need to be out there as much as he did, but he really, really did. The Browns have a ton of really good pieces, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But on the offensive side, obviously a ton to work on. You got to see if you want to stick with Shadur, if you want to move on from him, if you want to keep him as a backup, which I don't really want to do, because then we'll hear Shadur's fans go out, absolutely insane, and we just don't want that to be the case. We definitely wanted to try to keep the peace there, because it's been annoying as is throughout the year this year. But they need receivers. They need to revamp the entire O-line, as I've said so many times. But I think one of the encouraging things that we got out of the Andrew Berry press conference after the firing of Stefanski was how honest he was about knowing and being fully aware of the things that they need to do to the offense in order to get it back to where it needs to be. He is very aware that the O-line needs a ton of help. He is very aware that their receiving core needs work. And he is very aware that quarterback is not set for next season. And he is leaving it open for whatever can happen, whatever he can make happen, regardless if it's trying to trade for a vet, whether it's trying to sign a vet to a shorter term deal. You could bring in like a Malik Willis. There's options. There really is options. Or you could go to the draft for that if that's really how you feel about this draft. Me personally, I don't want to take really any of the quarterbacks in this draft, because I'm not so sure that Mendoza is going to be good right away. I think Mendoza is going to be a project. He doesn't have a ton of college experience, and that's going to hurt him. He doesn't have a lot of experience under center. He's not really that great at reading protections like Shadur does. So there's still proper problems that he's going to have in the NFL that for a team like the Browns, you're just not going to be willing to have enough patience for that. But I think it was encouraging to hear Barry kind of take ownership of everything the way that he did. And I think it was one of the first times where I've seen Barry actually like calmly, respectfully, and honestly just be true and humble to what has happened. Because a lot of the times he always would seem a little bit shaken up or like he was kind of sort of having to watch over his back. And I think he doesn't need to do that right now. And I think that's helped him at least get through that. But he still has a lot to prove, and it's not like his seat isn't warm by any means. He just got really lucky this season, and he has to prove if that was just luck or if he's actually capable of doing this post Depot, post Kevin, and being able to really solidify the team a little bit better than it currently is right now. But again, the good part is we have some building blocks like the rookie class. You could argue this was one of the strongest rookie classes for one team to come out in years, man. I mean, there were a lot of rookies on this team that played a lot of snaps for us, that played meaningful snaps. Schlesinger is a diamond in the rough. That kid played every single game up until last week. He just played his heart out. Judkins, before he got hurt, was awesome. He was always behind in terms of being like the top running back for rookies. He was always behind Genty, and he was right around where Trey Avion was, who blew up towards the end of the year. But everybody got a chance to shine. Even Shadur had great moments. Even Samson has had moments. So this team was able to build. They were able to get step one of that process. But I think getting rid of Stefanski proved that they do need a change of a voice. Like there really needs to be a new voice in the locker room. And a ton of the players were, quite upset about, Kevin getting fired, but they know it's a business. They know this business sucks. And it's like Batonio said, you feel bad for the person, because I know Kevin is a great dude. Like, he has always been super respectful to media. He has always been really good with the players in terms of like the one-on-one, like just relationship part of it. It's just, man, as a leader, he just wasn't quite what the Browns needed. And it used to be a flex when you would talk about Stefanski, about him not being a rah-rah guy. And towards the end, a rah-rah guy is kind of what you would have needed. A guy that's going to hold players and coaching staff accountable all the time and be able to really get the most out of his guys. Just didn't seem like he was able to get that out of every single player. And listen, man, there's a reason why the offense struggled so much over the last few years, and why the defense stayed pretty consistent since Schwartz has been here. It's because guys believe in Schwartz. They played hard for Schwartz. The offense did not play hard for Stefanski. It's just pretty evident. So I get it. There's going to be some people that don't enjoy this this process, but dude, this could have happened last year. Like, after 3-14, that could have easily happened. Stefanski could have been let go then, and maybe we have Vrabel. That is a legitimate topic that you could talk about for hours because of how bad last season was. And somehow this season ended up being worse, even though it was a better record. It was so much more destructive and so much more worse because of everything that transpired and how Miles was after the season. It was just a collective F up, and it set this up for this year to be potentially worse. And it was damn near that. The only thing that made it more better for us, especially as fans, is Myles Garrett with the sack record. I mean, that made the Browns season what it was. But it was literally Myles breaking that freaking record, man. It was so cool to do that. But it doesn't matter when you're 5-12. Like, it means Nothing, because he is going to get another Defensive Player of the Year award. That's 2 in 3 seasons. And it's not going to matter because you're not even in the playoffs. You're not even in the conversation. You were at number 6 or number 7 overall in the NFL draft again. For the second year in a row, you are a top 10 pick. That's not saying you are being successful. So you're wasting good years out of your prime players. So I give kudos to Barry and to Jimmy for saying, you know what, Kevin, as good as you are, we do need to move in a different direction.
Yeah.
And listen, he may have some success if he goes to New York or if he goes to Atlanta, Arizona, Las Vegas, whoever. This is going to be like JB in the Cavs. He's going to go on somewhere else. He's going to do fine. Not great, but fine. Still going to be a quality coach. But the Browns need to elevate. You can't just stay at a certain space and then just be okay with that because you were so used to having 3 and 4 wins every single season. And now we're getting back to that with Stefanski, who was the one that kept that stability going. So now it's like, okay, you have to go a different direction. So I don't blame them whatsoever for it. You and I have been on board with this for, I feel like, months now. I was done with him after the Minnesota game. That game, I've never been more upset with Stefanski a day in my life than that day. That was the day that I was always on the fence, but I was usually a supporter of Kevin. Man, after that one, I just couldn't do it because you had chances to win this year. That game, Oakland, hell, even the the Bills game. You lost 23-20 to the Bills. Like, you had a chance to win with Shedeur playing as bad as he did in that game. It's wild. You probably could have beaten the Bengals the first game of the year as well. I mean, the only blowouts that you really had were, against the Ravens the first time,
the Lions,
Detroit, and then New England. Those were 3 legitimate blowouts. So you're not winning that game. But every other game, you had a chance to get into it. You just never did. Oh, and the Steelers game too, when Dylan played absolute garbage. But when didn't he, to a degree? But it is valid to say that Kevin just deserved to be gone after this season. And I'm fine with it. I'm good with it. Because there's going to be a lot of revamping. And I just hope that the Browns don't have another Chudzinski where it's a one and done. That is the last thing the Browns need, is a one and done. That is the last thing that they need, is a one and done. So I'm just hoping for the sake of us fans that we don't have to deal with something like that again.
Yeah. No, I agree. Now that Kevin's gone, now is the time to actually take this head coaching job seriously and bring someone who knows what the hell they're doing. Because you have, like you said, you have no other choice right now. And the thing is, you don't want to waste the careers of Miles anymore. You don't want to waste the careers of Denzel. There's so many guys who you don't want to ruin or waste the careers of. I mean, Bitonio was crying because he didn't even know if this was his last season or not, and if he's going to retire or not. And, I think a lot of what his decision is going to be is going to heavily rely on who you bring in as head coach. I truly believe if you brought in someone like John Harbaugh, who just got let go today as well, if you bring in Harbaugh, I'm sure Joe Bitonio would stay for another year and be like, listen, this is a guy who's been to pretty much the playoffs almost every freaking season he's been a head coach and even won a Super Bowl. So this is a guy who knows what the hell he's doing. He's been making playoff appearances since God knows what, the mid-2000s. So, I mean, if that guy can make Joe Flacco a Super Bowl winning quarterback, imagine what he could do with a guy like Shedeur Sanders. I mean, and I don't know if you saw this already, but the Adam Schefter tweet saying in the first 45 minutes after John Harbaugh was fired, his agent Brian Harlan said he received calls from 7 NFL teams expressing interest in his client. There are currently 7 NHL or NFL head coach openings, including Baltimore.
Yeah.
So every team with a head coaching opening, including Cleveland, has already made a call about John Harbaugh. And guess what? I wouldn't be surprised if Harbaugh even entertained Cleveland because it's home. His family, the Harbaugh family are all Browns fans. They grew up in Cleveland. I wouldn't be surprised if he took that one seriously. But also there's bigger teams like New York he could go to. There's teams like Atlanta he could go to. I'd probably stay away from Vegas because that's just a nightmarish hole. I think
I would definitely stay away from Tennessee. They're going to be bottom of the barrel regardless.
I think there's, for me personally, this might be a little biased. I think there's 3 teams that for like John Harbaugh to go to. I think there's 3 teams that would make great fits. That's Atlanta, New York, and Cleveland. Because those teams are like on the cusp. They're like right there. They just need that coach to elevate them that little bit to make the postseason. And everyone's going to be like, well, the Browns won 5 games. The talent, I'm talking about the talent pool. The talent pool is there.
It is. Yeah.
It just needs a little bit of boosting. That's really all it is. Like the talent is there. The Browns are secretly an 11-win football team. They just need some elevation. And they just need to build around the quarterback. And if they could do that, this team is going to win games.
Yeah.
I mean, the over-under for the season was what? We talked about it. We laughed at, was it 3.5?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And the Browns managed to win 5 games. So they already exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
Now imagine if they had a real head coach.
I mean, if they had a real head coach, you were talking about them fighting for a playoff spot, at least a wild card spot in the AFC North. The AFC North was weak as hell this year, dude. You split with the Steelers. Yes, you did lose to the Ravens twice, but if you have a better head coach, you may not do that. You know, week 1 was a blowout, but again, like it was the way.
Week 1 was just Andre Schmidt missing the game-winning field goal.
Well, yeah. I'm more so saying the first game against the Ravens.
Oh, the Ravens, yeah. It was
like they blew us out. That was like week 3, I think.
Yeah, it was like 34-13 or something.
Yeah. And even the last game against the Ravens, like that was when Shadur came in off the bench and didn't really play that well, and couldn't do anything with it. So it's like just one of those freaky games where like it happens. But again, like Minnesota and Tennessee are 2 instant wins that you probably keep on the board. The Bills is a wild card at that point. You didn't even really play that bad against San Fran. The score wasn't necessarily close, but they played them closer than the score said. And Cleveland seems to do that every time they play San Fran. So I don't know what it is about us, but we just seem to play better against them. I don't know why. But again, you probably win week 1 against the Bengals because of Schmidt. And you definitely beat the Jets. Dude, the Jets game, we only lost by 1 touchdown, and it was because he gave up the back-to-back return for touchdowns at the first half because you can't fire Bubba Ventrone. Like, come on. Like, just the total dysfunction and the lack of accountability is what killed Stefanski. And as great of a player's coach as he is, he's just too soft in that regard, and that's why he's probably never going to be a truly like good head coach. He's going to be a good play caller, and he's going to be a good coach in the NFL for a long time because he's smart and he's bright and he does understand the game in the total X's and O's. But as a leader of men, I'm not sure he ever is going to have that in him. And listen, the talent pool is open now. We didn't even break open that can of worms. John Harbaugh just got fired 45 minutes ago, guys. Okay. We are recording this at 7:08. Actually, it was more like about an hour and a half ago. It was about 4:20, 4:30, I think, when that news broke.
Yep.
they have already received calls from every single team expressing interest in him. All right, there are 7 teams, including Baltimore now, that are hiring for a head coach. Adam Schefter reported that his agent already got calls from 7 teams, which means there is one team out there at least that still has a head coach right now, and they're like, I mean, I would do it.
I believe that team is. I believe that team is Miami.
Either Miami or even the Jets, because
Yeah.
somehow Aaron Glenn still has a job. I don't know how he wasn't a one and done, but yeah, that's another one too. You don't know what's going on with Miami. It's so insane, because at this time before that news broke, like some of the other guys that the Browns could interview, which so far they've asked for Todd Monken, who is the OC for the Ravens, and then the Seahawks defensive coordinator Aiden Dirty, I think, or Dirt. I don't know how you say his name.
I want to say it's Dirty.
Yeah, but Seahawks have had one of the top defenses in the league this year. He's young, he's bright, he's from England apparently. Like, okay, cool, but once you throw in John Harbaugh, I've been saying this for weeks. If John Harbaugh became available, Jimmy Haslam comes to his front door, hands him a blank check, and says, "Do you want the keys to Cleveland or not?" Because he's going to give it to him. Yeah. And if this becomes a thing where you have that ability to, and Barry gets nervous because he doesn't want to get rid of power, bye-bye. Because if you were so serious about winning games, John Harbaugh is the guy that can win you games. He has done it for years. He bullied the Browns for over a decade with Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson in some incredible defenses. Won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. It's like Tomlin, okay? If Tomlin were ever to become available, that is another culture guy and another big-time guy. Whoever gets him, it's going to be another Vrabel. It's going to be another, instance where a guy that has proven it for years and years and years and just decided to finally get let go, goes to a different team, and he balls out again because they're good head coaches. The Browns missed out on Vrabel last year. You cannot miss out on an opportunity to hire Harbaugh as your head coach and keep him in the AFC North. Like, could you imagine how much the players would re-buy in once they learn John Harbaugh is the new head coach for the Cleveland Browns?
Oh, the team would be ecstatic. I mean, I also just saw this from Mary Kay, which she tweeted out like 20 minutes ago, saying that obviously Harbaugh's mom, Jackie's from Cleveland, dad, Jack, John, and his brother, Jim, the Chargers head coach, were all big Browns and Guardians fans growing up. But here's the kicker. John Harbaugh also likes Tommy Rees as offensive coordinator. But Cleveland would have to fight the Giants and others for obviously John Harbaugh, which obviously that's the biggest thing. But
yeah,
that's the key right there, is that Harbaugh does like Tommy Rees. So maybe that could help leverage yourself over some of these teams if he already has a coach that he likes there already. And to be honest, the one pitch you can make to Harbaugh is, look, whenever you come here, we have the better defense of all the teams that are available to go to. We have the most elite defense possible. Wouldn't you want to work with this defense? Like, all you have to do is just worry about offensive players. That's all you have to worry about. Defense, Jim's got that covered.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the defense. All we got to do is focus on Shador, building around him, and getting him some weapons, including an offensive line. If you could do that, by golly, this team is going to win some football games.
Yeah.
And this team's going to surprise a lot of teams in the NFL. So I think the Browns do have a lot of leverage when it comes to Harbaugh. Obviously, the city itself, because the family's from there. But I think we have the better coaching staff, obviously outside of Bubba Ventrone. But I think he loves Jim Schwartz, and he's already said he likes Tommy Rees. So you probably got the coaches you want there too. All we need is you.
Right.
You're the final puzzle piece. You could throw Bubba Ventrone into the lake and tell him to go swim somewhere else.
Yeah.
Canada's up north. But listen, I think Jimmy has the best pitch available for Harbaugh. I think you have the best chance as the Browns to get Harbaugh. It's just, are you willing to go for it? And that's the question: is, are you willing to go for it and tell Barry, listen, it's going to take a lot to get him, but you know what? I don't care about anything you have to say. I'm going to give John Harbaugh the world, which might put you on the back burner a little bit, but you know what? At least you'd have a job still.
Yeah.
You're good with the cap space. Well, we like that, but we want John to have his team the way he wants it to be, because you don't turn down a guy who's been to a Super Bowl and
I think he has a 18-14 playoff record, and he's got like 8 playoff road wins. Like he's definitely there. Yes, he has had some triple doubles in Baltimore, but Baltimore's players have flopped. I mean, look at last year. Mark Andrews, literally a fumble is what lost them their season. This year, what lost them their season was a missed field goal kick after having one of the best kickers in the entire NFL before he decided to get touched by a bunch of masseuses. Like, it's, man, dude, this guy has been there and done that. He's been consistently good with the Ravens for a long, long time. The Ravens have always been a really good team. This is like the worst that that they've been, besides when they had a heavy amount of injuries a few years ago, where even then they were still competing for a wild card spot at that point. Like, he still gets the most out of his guys, and that's the type of guy you need. Like, that's a guy that's gonna stay true to what you need, and you really need a tough coach with any team in the AFC North. And if you plug him into this team, he already has the familiarity. He's a Cleveland guy, literally. It would just be a match made in heaven. It would be the start of something good. And if you could somehow still keep Schwartz as the coordinator on defense, and then let's say you do keep Reese, okay, fine. But maybe you still want to bring in Monken. Okay, even better. Like, still have if Reese be a part of the offense, if it's the quarterback's coach, and work with Shadur and work with Will Watson and whoever else you're going to bring in. But my God, at least you have a guy that is going to bring it every single week and be fearless in the AFC North. It would be damaging if the Browns can't find a way to do this, and it's kind of a long shot, and I'm sure it changes the way that the Browns were going to go about this. But dude, if I'm Barry, like, I don't even think twice about this. I call him, I set up a meeting tomorrow at noon, and I say, okay, let's go for it. Let's do what we got to do. Let's talk business, because this is the guy that you need on this team. Flat out. This is the guy. Nobody else that you're going to interview matters at this point. This completely changed the way that you should feel about the market for coaches this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think as just for right now, I think the plan should just be get an interview for tomorrow morning. And then once he walks into the building, you do not let him leave. You trap him in there and you give his ass a contract. Say, you see this spot right here? Put whatever number you want on there and sign it.
Yeah.
We will give you whatever the hell you want. So I think that should be the goal for Jimmy Haslam, is bring him in, don't let him leave.
Yeah. Do not let him leave. And if anybody is concerned about the whole blank check thing, head coaching salaries and stuff, those don't go on the cap. Yeah. The cap is irrelevant separate, yeah, when it comes to the staff. It's only player based. So that wouldn't matter. And again, it would really elevate this team to a new level, and it
Yep.
would bring some new life to the guys, and I think it would change everybody's outlook, and it would definitely help keep Myles Garrett, wouldn't you think? Bringing in a Super Bowl winning head coach like freaking Harbaugh, come on.
Myles would be happy and he would stay. Denzel would be happy and he would stay. Everybody would be happy because, again, you have a guy who's made the playoffs. Let's see, damn near every single season as his career in Baltimore, made the postseason. Like, why wouldn't you want that? That's just stupidity if you don't want to go for that. I mean, he's been the coach of the Ravens since 2008. He won the Super Bowl in 2012. So it's about 5 years into his coaching career.
Yeah.
He won a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just stupid to not go for him. Oh, it's 2013, February 2013. So it's the 2012-2013 season. But yeah, in that time span, 2008 to 2025, I mean, that dude's just made the postseason almost the entire time he was there. I mean, regular season 180 and 113 record, postseason 13 and 11.
Yeah.
He has the most playoff road wins for an NFL coach in history with 8 road playoff wins. That's insane. He was also coach of the year in 2019. I know we love those. So I believe that bringing him here would be the best thing for this Browns team because there's no reason to not go. He's definitely the top candidate right now.
Yeah.
Definitely the top candidate.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue that at all. Like that, dude. This news, the past like hour and a half, like it's been absolute mayhem. Everybody is going to be calling for him.
Yeah,
like literally everybody is calling for him.
This was a number I was looking for. In 18 seasons with Baltimore, 12 playoff appearances. Only in 6 years did John Harbaugh not make the playoffs with the Ravens as a head coach. 6 seasons. Otherwise, 12 of those years, he made the postseason and won a Super Bowl. That's what you look for in a head coach. That's just insane. Like, he could definitely turn this team around. And I better wake up tomorrow with John Harbaugh's in Cleveland for the interview. And then hours later, while I'm eating lunch, I better see the Browns have made John Harbaugh the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. That's what I want to see. You do it. You call him right now, bring him in the morning, and you seal the deal before anyone else, he goes anywhere else. Listen, I bought you a house already.
Right.
I bought you a house. I bought you a Lambo. Like,
yeah.
Come on over.
I got you a penthouse lakefront view.
I got you a Cleveland girl.
Free rent, everything. You got it. Like I don't care. Whatever I gotta do.
I made you mayor of the city.
Right. I mean, shoot, he'd be better than Cleveland's current mayor right now. I know that much. But yeah, it's just this is a big play. This is a
huge.
big time play. Again, you flopped not being able to move on from Kevin the first time and getting in on Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the chance. But the last thing that I want to go over, because I kind of did say this a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit more about Andrew Berry's presser last night or yesterday afternoon, because it was about a 30-minute presser. And he answered a lot of questions honestly. It was one of the first times I think I've heard him be this honest. What were some of the things that you liked from that presser that he said that kind of gives you a little bit of hope, or did he say some things that just kind of seemed like it just sort of hit the wall, and you're like, all right, well, I guess we'll see it when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing you can do, man. Like, now is the time to make the biggest decision of your entire life, and that's to bring in one of the greatest head coaches in the NFL that we've ever seen, at least in our time, next to Mike Tomlin and others. Like, one of those two guys coming to Cleveland, because I guarantee you, if the Steelers didn't make the playoffs, Mike Tomlin was gone too.
Yeah,
I think whoever won that playoff game, their head coach was staying, and whoever lost, their head coach was gone.
yeah.
And I think you can make calls for either one, and you say, listen, we have a fun project, we have a fun defense, we have a fun team. Let's make this work. And I know some people are kind of worried about the AFC North, ties and stuff like that. I don't think that matters to them. I think for them, obviously they're used to the AFC North, so I think that would entice them to stay in the AFC North a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because they already know what it takes to win it, what it takes to get through it. And I know there's always that awkwardness against your former team, but it's so much sweeter when you beat the crap out of them, and it's sweeter for the fans and the players because it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. Like, we're actually winning football games, so that's all really I have to say. It's just you make sure you make that phone call, you bring him in tomorrow, and you don't let him leave. You, like, as soon as he walks in the door, you let him hear that click of the door, like, and he's like, did it just lie? And you go, you're not leaving.
Right.
Your ass is staying. Would you like a coffee? And you make sure that coffee has some knockout stuff in it.
Right.
And then you put pen to paper.
Yeah. As we passed out.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. He has signed. Call it in.
Hurry up. Send it to the league. So fax it.
But so here's my real question to you is, do you trust Andrew Berry to make the right decision?
No.
That was quick. That was very, very quick.
No.
Yeah.
It's just tough too. It's just tough because, like, I want to like Andrew Berry so much, but the problem is that he's just messed up too much.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing with Watson just kills me. And, like, if it was him that didn't want Watson, I'd be like, yeah, I trust you. But
it was
I because of the Watson deal, it makes me not trust you. But if Harbaugh comes here, I would start to build that trust with Andrew Berry.
Yeah.
If Harbaugh is here. So that's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely with you on this. But I am a little more optimistic after the presser. I think he just said some good things that were actually encouraging. Like, he was very honest about the state of the offense. He has spent all of these years building up the defense to what it is, and now it's great. And now you don't want to really mess with it. Like, you definitely re-signed Bush. You definitely re-signed Collins. And you definitely bring back Emerson on a 1-year prove-it deal at the very least. If not a 2-year deal with player option after one. But, like, keep the defense the way it is for the most part. Add to it in the draft again, but use a majority of this draft and free agency to retool the O-line in the receiving room and figure out what you're doing at quarterback. It's really asking a lot out of him. So as long as he can hit on a few of them and at least fill most of the holes, you don't have to fill every hole, just as long as you fill enough to improve on the team from where it is right now. And it may not take much. Let's say you bring back Teller, and let's say Petonio somehow decides to stay one more year, which I really don't think is going to happen. I think Petonio's done. I think his body is just given up on him, and I don't blame him, man. He's been playing for too long. But every part of this line is going to be different. by next year. Conklin's definitely gone. DeJuan Jones, I mean, sure, he'll probably be back, but you can't trust him, so you have to draft somebody else. It's going to ask a lot, but it was encouraging that he made some decent moves. Even the Tyson Campbell trade was great.
That was a great move.
That was a good trade because you moved on from Newsome, so you solved that issue. You brought in Campbell, who is a bigger bodied guy who is better in man coverage that you play a lot more of schematically, and you still have the ability to bring back Emerson, and then you can sort that out as to where you want who to play and where. Delpit is a big piece of a team. Swetchinger is a big piece of the team. The only thing that's going to be elevated is if by the grace of God, JOK comes back.
Oh God,
if he comes back on this defense, man, this is going to be scary for opposing defenses, especially if you either bring back Schwartz or you somehow find a way to get Brian Flores here as your coordinator, because that's the only guy I'm upgrading to there. It's the only guy I'm doing that for. He's probably going to get a head coaching job, in my opinion. That's the only guy on defense that I am going to replace Schwartz with. Yeah. So, at least for me, again, the defense is safe. The offense, it needs a lot of work. So, am I confident in Barry? No. But am I a little more optimistic? Sure. I think that's just me, just being who I am, being just a little bit of a more optimistic person. But time will tell. He definitely has to prove it. But if he does, then hey, that's good. That means you're doing your freaking job. And that also proves more that Depot was a big, big problem. But you just really hope that J.W. Johnson stays the hell out of here. Like he stays far away from any football ops that, has them. Sure, he may sit in on the big time meeting for the head coach, but he's not going to be one that makes the true decision. Unless it's Harbaugh. He is the only one for Harbaugh that I'm saying, hey, if you sign off on it, that's fine, because that's a guy you have to bring in. But yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. This is a chance for the Browns to actually do something right here for once. Like you finally make that edge, and that would be that sort of Kenny Atkinson-esque hire where you're upgrading from what you previously had, which was a good coach, but not a great coach.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to look for here.
Yeah, I completely agree. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Let's see. I mean, Cavs played tonight. I don't really want to talk too much about them just because they're still kind of they're playing better. But they lost the other night to Detroit, and tonight they are going to play without Donovan. So we'll see how they play without him. Hopefully they feed the bigs. I think Kenny is starting to realize that when you feed the big guys, good things happen. Jared Allen has been playing a lot better over the last few games. It's just good news. Like last week was the best that I've seen Jared Allen in terms of rebounding than I've ever seen out of him. Like he actually looked mad when he was trying to get rebounds. I'm like, okay, where has that been for the rest of this year? Like, where is that for version of Jared Allen 24/7? I want to see a pissed off Jared Allen. Quit being a nerd. All right, we love you. We think greatly of you, but go be a pissed off guy in the NBA. It's okay. We won't judge. We won't judge at all. Go be a meanie butt. So you can get some rebounds so you can help us out, bro. Same with Mobley. I just want them to be mean. I want them to be physical. I want them to be arrogant and cocky. Have some confidence.
I completely agree.
Hopefully DG has a good night tonight too, because without Donnie, I mean, DG should drop 30 tonight. That's what I should see from him.
Well, as of right now, it's 28-22 with a minute left in the first quarter. We're down 28-22.
Okay, it's not bad.
Garland's got 5, Merrill's got 4, Mobley with 6, Allen with 2, Dean Wade with 3. Mobley's got 6 points, 3 rebounds. Allen's got 2 and 2. Allen's also got a steal.
Nice.
The one thing I'm looking forward to is more Craig Porter Jr. Integrate into the lineup, because that kid's the hustle in that kid is what's going to help this team continue out. Because I don't know if you noticed, but he's been averaging like 7 rebounds a game.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, for some reason he's a really good rebounding guard. He plays big.
I think
I don't know what it is.
I think he has 9 rebounds in the last 3 games in a row. Yeah. I was like, this dude's better rebounder than Mobley and Allen combined. Yeah. And he's also like a foot shorter than both. So I don't know. That makes no sense to me, how a guy who's like a foot shorter than you is a better overall rebounder than you are.
Right.
But hey, I don't care as long as someone gets the rebounds.
Exactly. Like, so, just give me something here.
But yeah, no, I like seeing more Craig Porter. Hopefully the Cavs can show out with a win tonight without Donnie. That would be a big boost. But I know Carlisle before tonight's game spoke highly of the Cavs, saying, listen, people don't understand, like, you're not going to replicate what you did last year. Yeah. You know, you're not going to win 15 in a row to start the year and stuff like that. No. He goes, I mean, look at us. We started abysmal last year too, and we ended up making the finals. So he goes, if you're a coach in the NBA, you're definitely not counting out the Cavs, because also too, they've had their fair share of injuries. Yeah. So he goes, wait until this team is fully healthy. They'll be back to what they were last year.
Oh yeah.
100%. So Carlisle's giving us the praise. He says teams should not sleep on the Cavs because of how they started off the year, because that's probably the biggest no-no you could do, especially with a team like the Cavs, how they're built.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the focus should just be string a couple of wins in a row, and everything will get back on track.
Right. No, that's pretty much how I feel as well too. Like as long as they can just continue to build better habits, as I've been saying for weeks now. You build your better habits, and good things will happen. So the Cavs just need to be smart, play physical, and stay healthy. Because Strus, I mean, we just got another update on Strus today. He's going to be reevaluated again in the next 4 weeks. So that'll be about the beginning of February. So in about a month. Well, trade deadline is right around that time too. So just keep that in mind in the next few weeks as things progress. Let's see if the Cavs make a move prior to that, or if that's part of when they start to make moves, is to either insert him into the lineup or moving on from him to keep what's going good with them. I honestly don't think that they'll move on from Strus unless it pertains literally to trading for a certain guy to stay underneath the cap and the whole apron thing. Yeah, that's the only way that I can see that changing for us. So
same.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I mean, I really don't want to talk about Ohio State. They obviously blew it. It is what it is. Good luck to Miami. Honestly, I hope y'all win it at this point. Go be Ohio State like they were last year. But yeah, it's pretty much all we got. So Andrew, why don't you go ahead and shout out the boys?
Yeah, check out our sponsor, Effortless Wins, for sports betting advice and plays to boost your wins. Talk to Tony or Greg. Links are in the description. NFL playoffs start soon, so you definitely want to get in on the NFL playoffs. Yes, obviously, NBA is still in full swing. NHL is still in full swing. NCAA basketball is in full swing. You have college football playoffs still going on. There's some bowl games still going on here and there. So perfect time for betting is right now. And then you also, I think next month, middle of next month or whatever, you got spring training for baseball again.
That's right.
So baseball is going to be back within the next month and a half, mid-February, end of February. So it's almost baseball season, boys.
It's coming up quick. Quick, guys.
Yeah, so be sure you guys go and talk to Tony or Greg. They'll definitely hook you up, and they'll get you ready for upcoming sporting events there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for us. Obviously, again, we are recording this on Tuesday. So this will be up on Friday. If the Browns still don't have Harbaugh as their head coach by then, I might riot. I'm not sure. I might not. We will see.
Yeah.
We will see what happens, though. Obviously, we've only actually gotten to, well, not interview yet, but we have requested to interview 2 people. That is going to grow immensely by the time Friday rolls around. So
also
keep it
perfect time to follow us on TikTok too, in case if we want to scream.
Very much so. I've tried to be a lot more active on there, and so so are you when you can. But I definitely am trying to be a lot more active there. So go follow us on TikTok. It's the same name as this. Keep it up here. Just BS and Pod. It's in the description of the video as well on YouTube. So yeah, go ahead and check us out there as well. But that is going to do it for us. We will see y'all next week.